welcome to the channel. If you're new here, thank you so much for joining. I'd love it if you'd become one of my subscribers. And today's video is a real treat because we are making some homemade hash browns using the Ninja Foodi. So you can do this in any air fryer. The first process that we're going to go through is actually going to be to pressure cook the potatoes, but you of course can do this on the hob and just parboil them if you don't have a Ninja Foodi, but you do have an air fryer. Like all my recipes, these of course are really easy to make. They're going to be super delicious, and let's hope they're as good as a McDonald's hash brown that we all absolutely love. They're going to be healthier because they're not going to be fried. We're going to air fry them just with some spray oil. I hope you really enjoy this recipe. Don't forget to hit the like button for me because it really helps the channel. Subscribe if you're new here, and let's go and make these. So my potatoes have been peeled and they are all of a fairly similar size. Soak those in water. We're just now going to drain those. We're going to put these under pressure. So let's get the potatoes into the bottom of the pot with 250 millilitres of water. That's the minimum amount that you're going to need to be able to build up the pressure. We just want to soften these. We're not cooking them because we want to be able to grate them. Make sure that your pressure valve is on seal. Now, I'm going to be honest, this is my second attempt with this. When I did this before, I put them under pressure for a little bit too long and therefore they were a little bit too soft. When I grated them, they didn't hold their shape fully. So we are going to try again. So I'm still going to pressure cook them. We're going to go with high. I want a quick release because I don't want them to cook for too long or overcook. Now, a little bit of a question here. Do I go as low as 0 minutes and just use the pressure that's building to cook them? I think I've got to try. If not, I could mess this up again. So let's go 0 minutes and let's see if it's going to be enough. So that took about 9 minutes-ish to come to pressure, and obviously we've had that quick release, so we can now open those up. Let's have a check where we're at. Yeah, they're great. They're just softened on the outside but firm in the middle, so that's how we wanted them. So 0 minutes is the way to go. I want to remove these pretty promptly from the water and the heat and allow these to cool. So that again will just stop them from overcooking too far. A more traditional way to make a hash brown is to normally peel the potatoes, grate them, and then soak them in water to remove the starch. And then you would basically squeeze out the excess water and then shape them. But I wanted to make these using the Ninja Foodi, so I felt that this was a pretty good way of doing it as an alternative. Okay, last one here. So just spread them all out. I've just got them on a board, put them on a plate, whatever you've got. And I'm now going to leave those to fully cool before we grate them. Now that my potatoes have cooled, I've got my grater, and you just want to grate them straight into your bowl like this. They're fairly easy to do because they have softened that little bit, but they're still holding their shape, as you can see, like that. Now that we've got all of that potato grated, we need to season this. So we want to put in some salt. I'm going to put in some white pepper. And let's mix that through again. When I made these before, I added corn flour. So we want around a tablespoon of corn flour. So we need this to form together and hold. And I'm going to add an egg in here as well. And that's really going to help bind this together. If I need to add a little bit more corn flour, then I can do that. And I do think I want a little bit more corn flour because there was quite a lot of potato here, but you can do this by eye. Yeah, that feels better. That feels a much better consistency now. I've got some parchment paper here on a baking sheet, and I'm going to add these into the freezer. Now, when I made these before, I used a mould, so you can definitely use a mould if you want to and make them any shape you want, or you can just use your hands like this and you can mold them into the shape that you want. Obviously, these are going to firm up and hold together once you've frozen them. I decided to make them into quite large rectangular shapes, and I'm going to get those into the freezer now. Would be a little bit easier if you use a mold, but I just did mine by hand and they work just as well. Now, the first thing I do when making my hash browns is to preheat my air fryer. You want to preheat it with the basket in here. If you don't want to use the basket, then you can actually put in the rack and use the crisper plate. Here's the crisper plate. This is what that looks like, and this is part of the Ninja set. I really love this set. It's really good. So either or, both are going to work really, really well for this. But let's preheat this, and we want this super hot because when they go in, they're going to hit that hot surface. It's going to help us to get a real nice crisp hash brown. Let's go down with the lid. You can do this in a couple of different ways. You can use air fry, but of course your hottest temperature is at 210, or you can grill, and that's going to give you that hotter temperature at 240. So I'm going to go with that. I think 5 to 10 minutes. Let's set it for 10. Let's get it really hot for these to go in. Now here are my gorgeous hash browns, and these are straight out of the freezer. So you can see here that they are much easier now to move around because they've been frozen. Now these hash browns are going to take anywhere between probably 15 to 20 minutes. And of course, we're going to flip them over. We're going to use some spray oil on the outside to get them nice and crispy as well, and get that sort of texture that you would do if we'd actually deep fried them. The key thing though is to not flip them too early. You flip them too early, they're gonna fall apart. You need to get that nice solid base on them, which is another reason why we're preheating the air fryer as I speak here. So I probably won't flip them to, I'm guessing 10 to 12 minutes, and then I will flip over and carry on cooking. So I flipped these and they were nice and firm on the bottom. Don't flip them beforehand. I promise you, you'll have a disaster. These have had 16 minutes, and I wanted to have a little look close up. Nice and crispy. It's hot, obviously. Nice and crispy. I think it could do it a little bit longer, actually. So I'm just going to flip them again. There's the other one. Look how good these look. I'm so pleased with these. So much better than the first time I made them. I'm probably going to give them another minute or two max. Let's have another check. These look good, actually. I think these, yeah, look at that. They are ready. I'm going to let it cool slightly, and then I'm going to give it a taste. So whether you're having this as a breakfast, maybe with some bacon, some egg, or having it as a dinner or a snack, it's absolutely delicious. And really not that much effort to make these. I'm going to give it a little taste. Oh, I know it's going to be good. Really, really crispy and delicious on the outside, and nice and fluffy and soft on the inside. And of course, it's got that hash brown texture.